All right, Roseville is booming and growing more rapidly than ever that I could remember living here in Sacramento. So today in this live stream, we're going to talk about how Roseville is growing and expanding. We're going to talk about the retail, the new construction, and the shopping centers coming into Roseville. You don't want to miss this one. Hey everybody, welcome to Sacramento's Real Estate Channel, where we talk everything there is to know about the brand new builds and of course, what there is to do here in Sacramento. If you've been thinking about making a move to the area, subscribe to the channel. And just so you know, we go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. We'll see you there. All right, glad to have you guys back on. We're live every Tuesday at 5:30, and today I thought it'd be just right to bring up Roseville, talk a little bit about Roseville. We've had quite a few clients recently specifically ask for Roseville, so I figured I'd do this video, kind of inform them, and also bring up some interesting articles that I've came across recently, just talking about the expansion and really the future coming to Roseville. So if you are considering moving to Roseville, if you're just doing some research, you might be from out of town, might be relocating, trying to get a job maybe here in the area. Roseville is definitely a hot spot. It's one of our top areas that we get asked about all the time. And so I love Roseville. In fact, I was just out there shopping with a few clients today, looking around some of the new construction out there. And if you guys are new to the channel, we cover a lot of the new construction homes in the area. So if that's something you're into, check out our channel. I'll even link a few videos below talking about moving into Roseville and some of those other developments. So let's get into it. Some really exciting stuff. Now, I'm going to bring up a map of Roseville, and today I'm going to do a little bit more intro for people who maybe are not as familiar with Roseville. I want to kind of give a rundown. Now here you can see this is Roseville as a whole. Now it goes more into this east side as well. You can see East Roseville Parkway, love that area, and then into Granite Bay here. So all this is Roseville as a whole. If you can see my mouse there, I'm not sure if it's showing up, but you have Highway 80 and Highway 65 intersecting right here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is depending where you live in Roseville, this area right here can get quite congested, especially during traffic hour and especially getting onto Highway 65 from the 80. Now, just to kind of focus in, when we're talking about West Roseville and all the expansion, all the new construction coming in, it's going to be out here, really up here, even on the northern side right here. A lot of stuff growing right there. And so that's kind of what's happening. That's really where all the major growth, all the new stuff coming into Roseville is happening, is really on this west side. Okay, so a lot of expansion there. In fact, we just sold a few homes there recently. So really excited about this because there's so much new construction, new communities going there. But one drawback has been, and this has been for years now, ever since that really far west side of Roseville has been getting expanded, a lot of people were complaining and really upset that there was not much retail around there, because even though you lived in Roseville, it was just such a stretch to get to any of the main shopping, right? That intersection that I showed you where you got like the Galleria Mall, the Costco, all the main shopping that you could want, all the retail, the food, the fountains, places to hang out. It was like a 20-minute drive. So it wasn't like, you didn't feel like you lived in Roseville. You felt like you lived on some outskirt part, and then you had to make it, you make your way into central Roseville. So I think that personally is going away. And so that's really exciting to see that Roseville is just expanding more and more. And even that west side of Roseville is not going to feel like it's its own island, if you will. It's not going to feel so separate. It's going to be connected to. In fact, it's going to be, I think, its own thing, its own hub eventually. And why I say that, and some people might disagree with me, if you do, I'd love to hear from you in the chat or in the comments down below. And just want to know, what do you guys think is the future potential of West Roseville? Or is it always going to be kind of that outskirt area that's not really going to develop like we think it will? Because, truth be told, on the outskirts of that, there's still a lot of farm fields. It looks very just plain and flat, to be honest. Nothing crazy exciting, but I had to take a drink of that espresso. Just had that freshly made. We're trying to tweak in the new machine on the espresso, so I think that one was all right. And I'm sure my wife is glad to hear that. But are we going to see that expansion on the West Roseville side? Are we going to really see it be a hub and be kind of its own sector without having to drive 20 minutes to get into central Roseville like everyone is kind of doing right now? So I wanted to bring up this article. This is super interesting. Let me see if I can get it to work. Gotta love technology here while you're live streaming. No pressure. And here's when the second Costco could be coming to Roseville. So this is one big reason why I think West Roseville might expand on its own. So in conclusion, basically this article is talking about a potential second Costco coming to Roseville. And this is going to be more on the west side, near Baseline and Fitiment, I believe. And so basically it's an article talking about Costco really trying to get the ground running, and that they were going to get potentially $6 million paid to offset some of the infrastructure costs from the city of Roseville. And this really would bring in a lot of jobs, a lot of money, and really taxpayer dollars into the area. You guys could check out this article. It's on ABC 10. But I think that this is super interesting to see if we get another Costco into that west side of Roseville. Is going to create its own hub. And just to give you some details here, Costco would be the anchor store for the Baseline Marketplace. It'd be on Baseline Road in Fitiment, as I mentioned. It's an 81-acre retail development in the Sierra Vista specific plan. And that's a master plan community with a bunch of builders in there. Once completed, the project will be about 750,000 square feet of building area, including 3 commercial buildings, 4 fast food restaurants with drive-through facilities, 3 gas stations, and 23 outlying restaurant and retail stores. The first phase of the project, which includes the Costco store, gas station, car wash, and 3 other parcels, would bring the city about $3 million a year in tax revenue. Once Baseline Marketplace is finished, it's expected to bring the city about $7 million in annual revenue. So as you can see, even based on the projected annual revenue to the city, it makes sense if they were to invest in this Costco project, because it's, some good ROI right there, if you will, on that investment. So it'd be really exciting to see a Costco like this come in and be an anchor store, bring in more, as I mentioned, fast food restaurants, car wash, gas stations. I think that is all needed out there in the west side of Roseville. Really, that's one thing that it's lacking right now. But if that does come in, especially to that further west part of Roseville, which it's talking about, this would be a huge turn up in really activity. And I think that there's already been so much demand. I've helped so many people look in that area, buy in that area. I've known so many people that moved into that area. It's a great location, but something like this, I think, would just really kick up the demand for that area, because that's really been a drag for a lot of people here to really want to move into the area. So let me know what you think about another Costco potentially coming into West Roseville. Do you think it's do you think it's viable? Do you think it's going to happen? Or do you think it's just some fluff that maybe will never even take place? So we'll see what happens, but here's to the future in Roseville. So super excited about this one. I do see some comments coming in before I go too far and bring up some of the other topics here and some of the future value coming into Roseville. I see some people hopping on. Priscilla, hi Sam, thanks for joining me. Appreciate that. Excited to hear what is coming into Roseville. Okay, me too. And then also we got goats. Love that. Now, so if you guys are watching, I would love to hear. I know we have a lot of clients relocating, sometimes from other cities, outside the Bay Area, sometimes outside of state. So if you guys are in another location, would love to hear where you're tuning in from. It's always exciting to us. We have people literally from all over tuning in, which is always fun. Getting a message from you guys, or sometimes a comment, something like that, here where you guys are from. So it's always fun. I see, is it Alfie Man 100? Thanks for hopping on. Really appreciate you. So now let's get into it. What else is West Roseville offering? Or let's say, how is Roseville expanding? So one thing, as I mentioned before, it took a while to really get to anything in Roseville. And I think a major change in that was the fact that Rayleigh's One finally came into the area, and we had a nugget come in. So I'm just going to break it down right here. I'll pull it up on the map just so you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But if you look right here, you see the Rayleigh's One Market right there. So that's basically the anchor store right there. We got a bunch of little shopping stores and grocery stores coming in right there. This is right off Blue Oaks and Fitiment. You got a Chipotle, Habit Burger, and there's a new restaurant. Now, I have not tried this yet, but I definitely want to. It's called the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill right there. So as you can see, it's kind of developing, because over here earlier, there was no grocery stores. There was nothing. So if you're buying a home out here, which this is West Park, and then up here is Winding Creek area, there was nothing. Like, you had to drive a ways to get to a grocery store, which Safeway was kind of down here. But now you have Rayleigh's one and a bunch of stuff coming in right there. So I think that's really big for the community, especially for our clients that bought in the Winding Creek area. Now, not to mention, we also have the Nugget right here further down Blue Oak. So this is kind of the northwest side of Roseville. This is also blowing up as like an anchor. Like, I mean, right here you have literally Smash Burger, a bunch of little restaurants, banks, and you have a new 24-hour fitness center right there. One really cool thing, I was just reading an article earlier, is that they're actually expecting to build in this area. They're actually planning to build, a hardware store. So like an Ace hardware store is supposed to come in, like an anchor store with a bunch of small shops around it as well. So as you can see, the future potential, the future kind of growth of Roseville has so much coming in over the next few years. Now, I say this stuff, because like, we work in real estate, so we know sometimes development like this can take years. It can get dragged out. So I'm not saying that this is going to happen in the next 3-6 months, but what I am talking about is that long future value. In fact, I just had a call with a potential client a couple hours ago. We were talking about Roseville, all the new construction coming in, and we were talking about investment properties in Roseville and like, where is the future value? This to me is the future value, because yes, there is homes to choose from. The market's still low, inventory prices, have kind of steadily been increasing this year. But when you see stuff like this coming in, infrastructure, shopping, attraction, that really is what I believe will bring in a healthy, strong market in that local area as well. So just to say you live in Roseville is not enough. You want to be in close proximity to stuff, right? You want to make it feasible for people. And especially if you make that house a rental, you want it to be in a good location, near good schools, near good shopping, etc. So that's things that I personally look out for. Now, a lot of people have been buying in Roseville with kind of an assumption that it is going to keep growing, it is going to keep blowing up. And I think that's fair. It's just a matter of how long and how much time it's going to take. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Some of you that have driven through the area, what's the feel that you're getting for Roseville? Do you feel like there is a lot of future potential and value coming into the area? Or do you think it's really, not that much to be excited about? So I'd love to hear from you guys down below. I see Brian Thompson jumping on. Appreciate your informative video, Sam, from Cameron Park. Super cool. Thank you for joining us. Cameron Park feels like a long way away, but it's it's not too far away. So you're right in our area. Really cool. Thanks for hopping on. I see Priscilla jumping on. Appreciate all the info you give. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that. So let's continue. Other future plans for Roseville. Now, I did say that besides the retail, the shopping, some of the stuff coming in, and there's a lot more. There's a lot more planned. I'll bring those up in future articles as we go along on the channel. But I did want to bring up some builders in the area that are really developing like crazy right now. So that area I just mentioned where the Rayleigh's one was, we're talking about Blue Oaks and Fittima area, that northwest side of Roseville. I think that's kind of the biggest growing part right now. There's quite a few builders in that area. One of them, Taylor Morrison, pretty good brand name, I would say, in the area. A lot of people want Taylor Morrison. Those are bigger homes. We're looking at 3,000-4,000 square foot homes. You can definitely pay 800, 900K on those. They can probably advertise in the 700s, but realistically, you're going to be probably pushing the $800,000 mark on one of those homes. You got JMC out there with probably 4 or 5 new communities growing. In fact, I'm going to bring up one of their new exciting communities. If you're an investor or if you're a first-time home buyer, you might want to hear this one. So we also have builders like Richmond American. They got the Windsong community. I would definitely check that out. That's in that upper Winding Creek area. A lot of development going on right there. Some good deals, in my opinion. And D.R. Horton is actually going to be coming out later this year with a super affordable community, like too cheap. I personally think too cheap. And so they're gonna be building homes, I believe, 1,500 to 1,800 square feet, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to be 2-story. And they're going to be on the further northwest part of Roseville, like even further north than northwest is now. And so those are going to be exciting because I believe those are expecting to be listed in the 500s, maybe even below mark. Now, that's just some preliminary news, but I'm really excited about that community because I think a lot of first-time home buyers, which may have gotten outpriced with the current market price and still want a new construction home, still want to get into that zip code of Roseville, be near all the new schools, I think that's going to be a solid one. So look out for that one. We'll bring up more information as it comes along in the next few months. But one community I really want to bring up, super excited about this one, is going to be JMC Homes. So for instance, JMC actually just opened up a new community. This is it. It's called, right here, I'll pull it up. It's Northbrook at Fitterment Farm. Now this home, it's not big. It's not terribly big. It's nothing crazy. But the funny part is here, they have 3 different floor plans here, right? They have 3 different floor plans. It goes 1,501 square feet, 1,502 square feet, 1,503 square feet. So they got really creative on the floor plans here, to say the least. No, the floor plans change up a little bit, but you can get a home 3 to 4 bedroom with a 2 to 3 bath with a 2-car garage and over a 5,000 square foot lot, which doesn't sound like much, but it's actually a pretty decent backyard, I would say. We're going to have a video coming out on this one either later this week, maybe even early next week on these model homes. But these homes are starting about 560, 570 to 590. So being in the 500s, brand new, upgrades included, solar included, and I believe you even get some closing cost credit if you use their lender. I think that's a heck of a deal to buy a brand new home in Roseville under $600,000. Currently, they are allowing investors. So this is a big deal because typically more affordable new homes like this may not allow investors, or they may at first, and then they kind of sell out a certain percentage and they will no longer allow investors. So if that's someone like you, you're looking for your first investment property in the area, this might be a good one. I was even considering it. You know, we were just talking about that as well. So I think this one's going to be new and exciting. It just opened up, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago. So this is going to be a great new community. Now, that being said, let's kind of move up the ladder a little bit. Another community that just opened up literally this last weekend, smoking hot, is going to be a New Home Company. If you've heard of New Home Company, you've been watching our channel. We review some of their luxury homes. In fact, they just had a community open up in El Dorado Hills. But this is pretty exciting because New Home Company is coming in with some amazing big homes. You could see here, you're anywhere from like 2,700 up to over 4,000 square feet. So if you want a big home, if you want to be in this newer part of Roseville that I'm talking about, this is not too far off Highway 65 area. It's a pretty good location. It's only a couple minute drive to get on the freeway. So I do like this one. We're going to actually have the models coming up on the channel pretty soon. But this Plan 1 has a potential for a next gen suite, basically multi-generational living. So this community is called the Trails at Valley Oak. They also have another community, slightly smaller homes called the Parks at Valley Oak. So we'll be bringing up those videos. So if you guys are interested in a little bit higher end communities, something a little bit bigger in Roseville, this might be some great floor plans for you to check out. Pricing there on the smaller ones is probably going to be in the mid 700s. And these bigger ones that I was just showing you, you could be in the 8s to the 9s, even into the low $1 million mark. So pretty excited about those. If you guys want more detailed information on those, you can always reach out to our team down below. Our information is right there. So if you want to set up a tour, get private information, do a, schedule even like a virtual tour of those. If you live out of town, reach out to our team down below. We'd love to assist you on that. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think about the new construction coming in? Sorry, I missed a comment here. Let me just bring it up real quick. Does that community work with investors? So as I mentioned, the first JMC one in the 500s does. Now this one on the higher price point, they might. I doubt they would have too many investors buying at this price range, but I believe the first one, JMC, if that's what you're referring to, they do currently. But that is subject to change. That can change quickly. I've seen builders do that a bunch, where they're open for everybody and boom, they're selling like hotcakes and they decide to flip the script. We no longer are selling to investors. So keep an eye out for that. If you're an investor, this is, just give you some advice. Not every builder is going to want to come sell you a home. Even if you say it's a second home, just depending on how their activity is, how the sales are going, they may not sell you a home. So keep that in mind. But as first-time home buyers, you probably usually get the best deal. As a primary home, you usually get the best deal. You typically get some sort of lender incentive for using their lender, and you get a little bit more priority. So hopefully that helps you out. Now, there are a few other new communities, that I'd want to check out, but I don't want to go too far into it on this specific live stream. And if you guys are considering, moving into Roseville, investing in Roseville, I did some more detailed videos about living in Roseville. In fact, I linked them down below. There's going to be one moving to West Roseville, specifically talking about the western side of Roseville. And then I also do a East versus West Roseville. So if you're considering, do you want to go more east, more established, maybe a little bit older communities, but very good location? Or do you want to go more west where more this new construction, all this expansion is going? So if that's something you're interested in, you definitely want to check out those videos down below, kind of go more deep dive. Now, speaking of content, we are actually going to be releasing another video, professionally edited video, where we kind of tour different pockets of Roseville. Now, this one I'm really excited about because we go into Old Town Roseville. We check out some of our favorite places to hang out. We go like the fountains, the mall area, different neighborhoods, stuff like that. So check out that one on our channel. Probably going to be up in about the next couple of days, maybe a week or so. Really excited about that one. So if you guys have any other questions before we kind of finish this live stream, drop it in the chat down below. Would love to hear from you. If you want to know something specific about Roseville or what is coming to Roseville, let us know down below. We'd be happy to go into it. I know that I've had quite a few videos on Roseville before, so I'm pretty sure I've covered it at least once or twice. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, that being said, I think that, just to kind of finish off this video, I think that there's going to be a lot of future development for Roseville. I think if that Costco comes into that kind of western side on that Sierra Vista area of Roseville, we're going to get a lot more demand, a lot more growth around there. It's just going to keep building around there. And also if we get more retail built in off of the Blue Oaks area, because Blue Oaks now is kind of become a main exit, if you will, off Highway 65 to get into that western part of Roseville, even to some parts of Rockland. So I think that it's just going to only develop from here. I think Roseville is going to be just booming, especially in the next 5-10 years. I only see it continue to grow and expand more and more and more. I mean, if you look on that western side, if I showed you guys that map earlier, it just keeps going wider and wider and wider. So I personally am a fan of Roseville. I think there's going to be a lot of future potential there, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Roseville? Do you think there's potential for future expansion there, or is it at its tail end? So would love to hear from you guys. And of course, as always, my name is Sam with Golovey Real Estate. If there's ever that me and my team can be a resource for you here in Sacramento, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or even investing, we'd love to hear from you. You can always contact us. Our information is down below in the description. Thank you guys for watching this live stream. We go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. We hope that this has been beneficial and informative for you. We'll see you next week. Take care.